Good
Never
afternoon,
mind. I'll shut
everybody.
down today. Good morning, everybody.
No, it's good afternoon. We're in
Or
the
good
afternoon already.
depending on where you're joining us from today.
We have not had enough coffee for the amount
No.
of tasks required from our brains today. So,
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, and Lindsay disappeared. Oh, I can't
oh,
hear you.
am I okay?
Now I can hear you. You're back.
Oh my stars, that was nuts. I didn't know where
Oh,
I had gone.
disappeared.
I disappeared. Oh man. So
We've
how
got
is
lots of people
everybody
in the chat.
today? Say it again.
We have lots of people in the chat this morning already. So good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. Jennifer is here, and Patty is here.
Hello,
Sylvia is here,
hello.
and let's see, Michelle is here. VOB, I don't know that I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome. Cheryl, did I already say Cheryl? Cheryl is here.
We're gonna go with it. We'll just
Yeah,
say it again. It
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Uncle Big Guy is here. B Bar is here. Good morning. Brian Doyle, I haven't seen your name before, so welcome. Cool Keto Couple is here.
That's fun.
Rickwin is here, and Tiffany is here. And
Hey
Risa is here.
y'all. Very, very
Had a
good. We're
steak
so
and eggs
excited that
for
y'all are here.
breakfast.
Yum.
That sounds like a really good breakfast.
Solid. I like it.
I could not decide what I wanted for breakfast, so I made a hot chocolate with protein.
That's
There you go.
valid. That's
That's what I
super
can do this
valid.
morning. Yeah,
I feel like, hey, thumbs
exactly.
up for that. I had 4 scrambled eggs, and then I couldn't decide what I wanted to do for lunch. And so I made 4 slices of bacon that I ate real fast. And then today is a writing lesson for my kid, and so it kind of falls right over the lunchtime frame for us. And so I scarfed down the bacon, and then I whipped up my favorite, a blueberry
Nice,
pie keto channel.
nice.
So I've got this to work through, but then I also have black decaf coffee to carry
Nice.
on with.
Options.
So
We love
we're just,
options.
there are so many people on the YouTubes, on the internets everywhere that are really making a lot of content surrounding the whole ADHD experience and whatnot. And I've never been diagnosed. I have no intentions of ever being diagnosed, but I talk about it moderately often about the fact that
Mhm.
like I have a lot of the symptoms that fall right in line with those things. And one of the couples that do ADHD content, it's a husband wife. Husband is not, and the wife is.
Okay.
And um, she talks about how she has like 8 drinks that she walks around with,
Yeah,
or, just the T-Rex arms. And I'm like, those
yeah,
aren't T-Rex arms. Those are Velociraptor arms because
right,
Velociraptors
obviously.
can move this much. T-Rexes can only move this much.
Right. Well, I don't think I have ADHD, but I do end up with lots of different drinks, but that's primarily because I make something and set it down and forget it, and then I go get something else. Then I'm like, "Oh, wait, I should finish this one." So they're
You know,
just kind of scattered around the house.
Hey, a drink for every room. I mean, like on my night table over here, I do have another bottle of water. It's I've also got the plants. It's like I plant a beverage in a different
Okay.
spot since
Well,
I
that's
can
smart.
only carry about 4 drinks at a time. So
Yeah.
that's one less drink that I have to carry with me.
On a mission to stay hydrated.
Or just on a mission to like hold something because my arms, they like to
There
always
you
be in
go.
this position. So if I've got it like this, it doesn't look so like this.
Oh gosh. Um,
It's great.
Dustin is here from Keto Simple. Oh, he just hit
Hello,
4,000
Dustin.
subscribers. Did you see that?
Say that again.
Congratulations. He just hit 4,000 subscribers. So that is
Yay!
amazing. Um,
Congratulations, Dustin.
yeah. And Sheila, hello. And Lito Garcia, hello. Um, Brian says, trying to figure out how I made a live during the day. I hope everything's all right.
Yeah, I hope
But we're
that.
glad you're here.
Did you forget to go to work?
Last
Is
night,
class
last night,
dismissed?
my exercise class got canceled because the teacher was sick.
Oh,
And so I was like, bummer. But then I was able to catch the Keto Chow live stream. So it all worked out.
Silver linings.
Yeah.
Silver linings everywhere.
Ooh, Risa says she has her first batch of El Ruderi fermented dairy in her Instant Pot and excited to try it.
Woohoo!
That's awesome. I have been saying so many times, I have got to get back to it, but I have not yet. I even bought like the ultra pasteurized half and half that I needed and sitting in the fridge.
Yeah.
We have not gotten to it yet, but I feel like that's just something I should do from now until I die. Like it's just a good thing.
Yeah.
I
And
got to get back to it.
actually that that statement kind of stems into something that I had heard this week and kind of wanted to sort of chat about a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you do a punch like boxing? Um,
What are you reading?
so Lamer
Oh,
546. I'm struggling to put the pieces together here. I appreciate that you think we're awesome. Thank you for
yeah.
that. I don't understand like a punch
Cindy
like boxing.
like spot.
Like this? Like punch the camera? Is that what we're doing? Keep
Okay.
your hands up.
Oh, let's see. Tiffany says, I am diagnosed with adult ADHD. I've been very known to lose my drinks all the time. My coffee is always cold, but I think that's also because I have two little boys running around. Yeah. When you have two little boys running around, I think that it counts as ADHD.
100%.
It's like not internal, it's external ADHD. Oh,
That's amazing. Fantastic.
yes. Okay.
Um, okay. So I wanted to sort of this video that I had seen this week. This creator was applying this concept to a lifestyle that was not related to diet, exercise, or like, biochemical happenings in her body. But I heard her say this, and I thought that is exactly what we need whenever we are attempting to take the reins on our health. And oftentimes we hear people say, like, discipline. I've said it 1,000 times, like, you just got to be disciplined. You just got to be disciplined. You just
Mhm.
got to do this.
Yeah.
And it's more about like, you have to be better. Like you're failing at this and you have to do better. And discipline always sounds very negative or very harsh. And I, for one, tend to appreciate more of like a quick to the point sort of a thing, unless it comes directly from my husband, and then I'm like, no, I can't take it. But when it comes to like receiving that, I much prefer it to just be like hard hitting and fast to the point, and then let me just sort of like fall backwards from it for a minute and then come back stronger. But the thing that this creator said was that instead of saying that you have to be more disciplined, change your mindset shift and say that I am devoted to
Ooh.
this lifestyle. And I was like,
Mm.
I'm sorry, rewind that again. Instead of
Mm.
being disciplined, be devoted.
Mhm.
And so you saying you need to get back onto the El Ruderai production team, like you could you could potentially shift your brain and say like, oh, I am devoted to making El Ruderai when it's time to make El Ruderai. Or for
Right.
me, like I am attempting to be devoted to exercise, or
Mm.
like I feel very devoted to my keto lifestyle. I choose to eat things that are in line with that, instead of saying I choose not to eat, or like
Sure.
I can't eat the things that
Yeah.
are not in line with that. So it was really cool to hear that. And then another way that she sort of verbalized this was, instead of having a bunch of shoulds, turn
Mm.
them into standards. Like, what is the standard of who you are? Like this
Okay.
kind of like a character almost, rather than it being like, I should make this thing, or I should do this thing. I should go work out. I should go, you know, clean the kitchen or whatever the case is. But instead, it's like, I have the standard set that I work out. I have the standard set that
Right.
I get the dishes washed at the end of the night. I have this
Right.
standard of who I am, and who I must be in order to live life well. So it was just a really, like, I love hearing things that are not directly related to the health and wellness sector of the world, and
Mhm.
just hearing them through the ears that I have and being able to translate that, oh, that applies to this too. That applies to this as well. That applies to like every area of our lives. I'm going to choose to be devoted, not disciplined. I'm going to choose to set standards, not
Mhm.
live in the shoulds. So
Yeah. Well, I
it was
like that
really cool.
because, both discipline and should kind of have a negative connotation, like,
Hmm.
I'm doing something I don't want to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there are times where we have to do that, but, like, with exercise and, like, with eating keto, we want to get to a point where we want to do it. Like
That's right.
like, we choose to do it. We don't have to be disciplined anymore, and so discipline, I mean, it's important for a time, but the hope is it's kinda like with kids. We discipline them for a time, but we hope that it's leading towards not having to discipline them anymore, you know? And
That's
so
right. That's
I like
right.
that. I like that. And so we can, like, maybe we do have to be disciplined, but we can look forward and, plan towards it just being a devotion rather than
Yeah.
discipline. Yeah, I like that a lot.
100%.
That's very
And
cool.
yeah, it's just, I didn't really have like a ton to say about it, but I just thought I would share those things because those two little mindset like frames, like
Yes.
I changed the frame around the picture and all of a sudden it looks better. Or
Yeah.
my grandmother was an artist, and she would have hundreds of framing mats in her art room where she would just like she would paint something and then she would go in and she would shift, like, how does it look if I put this color of a mat
Mm,
around the picture or that color of mat around the picture. And so using those like framing
yeah,
tactics can help us to look at our lifestyle choices in a more enthusiastic way, or in just like a better way
yeah,
overall. So yeah, and it's also, it just boils down to choices. And it was just one of
yeah,
those things where it just came across so good that I had
yeah.
to rewind it a couple of
That's
times.
awesome. Yeah, I like standard for, like, healthy choices because it
Hmm.
makes it feel normal. Because
Yeah.
when we're like, make what was it you compared it to?
Should.
Should. Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
should
should.
eat
It's like,
meat.
I'm
My
normal
standard.
here, and I should be here, but instead of saying if you say standard, it's like, no, that's the normal. It's just
That's right.
normal. It's not some
Hmm.
huge big thing to get up and take a walk or to, choose to forego the bun on your burger.
That's right.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it quite a lot. She said a lot of other things in that video that I also wrote down, but I didn't write them in all capital letters, so I can't read them quite as clearly from this distance. So,
What was the video? I can link it.
so I don't remember the name of the video, but
Oh.
the creator was Jill's Guerin.
So the what now?
Guerin. I can't tell if I
Oh,
wrote gherkin.
Guerin?
That's the one.
That's it.
Guerin. And it
Okay.
was from January.
Oh, okay. I can at least link her channel.
Yeah, it was,
Um,
yeah, about a month ago was this video.
okay.
3 weeks ago. Um, Gosh, I wish I would have written the name of the video itself down. That would have
How
been
to
way
finally
more
be
effective.
disciplined without destroying yourself?
Perhaps
How to actually achieve your goals this year?
let's put a pin in it. Maybe you could talk to some of the people while I go verify what the
Oh, okay.
name
Well,
of the
I can
video
just,
was.
link her channel. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Um, I guess I can just do this. There we go.
And it was definitely one of those videos where YouTube was like, have this video. I've
Yes.
never watched this creator before. She's a big creator. Um,
Yeah.
how to finally be disciplined without, yep, that was the one.
Okay.
How to
Okay.
finally be disciplined.
Finally be disciplined.
Um, but yeah, it was like YouTube said, here, we suggest this one for you. And I said, okay, YouTube, I'll take the bait. And then it turned out to be great.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes it does not. You're like,
Right.
don't
This
recommend
one
this
went
channel
well.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. She had a bit of a conversation in this video about not negotiating with yourself,
Mm,
because basically that's like questioning all the decisions you've already made. and we can sit
Hmm.
there and try to negotiate with ourselves to get what we'd rather have. And I could think of so many applications for that particular thought. I was
Yeah,
just like, "Oh man,
I
how
love
often
that.
do I negotiate with myself like, "Oh, well, I don't really need to do the laundry today because I've got all day tomorrow to work
Yes,
on it." So it's
yes.
fine. I just really need self-care right now.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes, yeah. So, we were talking with Jonathan Shane the other week about that, asking his advice because there's times where that's appropriate, and then there's
Yes.
times where it's not. And
Yes.
trying to figure out which time it is and when you should just be disciplined and push yourself harder and
Mhm.
when you should, um,
Respect.
take
Respect
and
rest.
that's really hard, like, I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
I like what Keto Simple said. A small creator I ran across a few weeks ago was doing a carnivore challenge, but instead of calling it a challenge, she called it a commitment. I
I
love
love
that
that.
and felt it's a better way to focus on a commitment. Yeah, I like that.
I love it whenever we can have some solid alliteration, taking a
Mm,
word that we use often that tends to have a little bit more of an aggressive negative tone and shifts it to more of a like an enthusiastic positive tone.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah. Well, and then, it doesn't have to be some big thing. We could be like, my commitment is to drink more coffee.
I am down. Although that one that's because it wouldn't be a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be something difficult. Let's just challenge ourselves. I challenge myself to sleep an extra hour in the morning.
Oh, I
Yeah, you
can't
couldn't do
abide in
that. That'd
that.
be hard for you.
I have n I challenge me to go to bed a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
Done.
there you
I
go.
committed. I'm now going to bed at 8:30. My
Yeah,
husband would die. He'd be like, "Where's the night gone?"
yeah, yeah,
He's he's much better at being a night owl than I am.
yeah. Jeff is pretty much too. Um,
I'm
I
all about
usually
that
will
early
just
bird
I
business.
will just hit that point, like 9:30 and be like, "Well, I'm done." Sing It says she's devoted to rebounding for the next 90 days, and this morning was day 1. Yay! A
Woohoo!
rebounding commitment.
I give you some fireworks, sing it.
Yes.
Hey, that brings me to something else to share.
Okay.
I love my rebounder, and I went and looked up how much I spent for my rebounder. Now, it's an exercise equipment piece, and it's not just like getting, some bungee bands for $20 or whatever
Mhm,
on
mhm.
Amazon. It's a solid piece of equipment, right? I went and searched my order history, found out I paid $23 for my rebounder 3 or 4 years ago. And I
Where did
was
you
just
store
like,
that?
I knew I got a deal on it because you get the coupon code, and then here's an extra 50% off or whatever. That
Wow.
little thing was like the best deal on the planet. Like, you're not even spending $23 at a garage sale, and this thing was
Yeah,
brand new. And so I was so
that's
jazzed about
amazing.
it. Well, a lot of my rings started to pop off, and so I ordered a replacement mat. The replacement mat was not working out well. It was a little bit too big, even though it claimed to
Mhm,
be the right size. So that wasn't the right fix. And I thought,
mhm.
I paid 23 bucks for this thing. I don't want to spend another $100 to, like, well, more than $100 nowadays. I'm like, I really, really want to like do like the repair format. Like, it's kind of like you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
So I got the little triangle shaped rings. I replaced the triangle shaped rings, and then I go to start. Oh, are you finished,
Was that the
internet?
climax of the story?
It's not. So I got the replacements, replaced the things, and I go to start hooking them onto the rings, and I couldn't get all of I couldn't get them all on there. So I asked husband, would you please help me? He goes to start working on it, and the mat starts to rip. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
my poor trampoline. And finally he goes, I think you gotta replace it if you still want to use this thing. So I said, okay. So I went and I found a reasonable priced rebounder to replace it with.
Was it
And
$23?
I hopefully will be back on board with it because I tell you what, like walking, you hear like all of these people talk about like the amazing benefits of walking, and that's so great. I get so bored.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I,
I get it.
I would much rather rebound because like I'm just like having a good time. I got the lymphatic system moving. I'm doing all the things and I can do like a really amazing workout in the 15 to 18-minute range, which fits my current choices in life. So
Yeah.
I have to replace my rebounder.
Chris Bear says, "I have a standard that my children listen to me." Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah, instead of I
hard
have a
when
should that my children listen to.
it's hard when your standards don't align with the standards of the people around you. That's where it gets difficult.
But what's nice is when you're the figure of authority in the situation, you can either succumb to the masses or you can make them fear you.
Sure.
Just kidding.
Oh, goodness. Let's see.
So good.
Risa says, "I can't forego the bun, but I can choose a different type of bun. Lettuce just doesn't do it for me." Yep, there's a lot of options these days, even like, gluten-free and stuff like that. Well, and then
Oh,
if you
yeah,
wanna bring your own, you could, make your own egg white bread bun. I've done that before. Brought it to the restaurant. But I don't
100%.
mind the lettuce wrap, so it's like I enjoy it still, as long as the burger is good.
Sure.
I've had some pretty plain burgers on a lettuce wrap, and that's no fun, but if it's got some decent sauces and things, good to go.
Bump up the flavor.
Yeah. Um, Brian says, "First day wearing a CGM and has been eye-opening." Yes. That's one thing that I think everyone should experience at least once, just just to see. Like, eat all the things that you think are crazy
Typically,
healthy and wonderful and just see. Like, you can't argue with the numbers.
for sure. Actually, I haven't had a CGM in like almost it's got to be close to I don't know, 8 months to a year at this point, but I did my most recent, like, what I ate in a
Oh, yeah.
video testing my blood sugars, and I was like, "Okay, all right, we're still somewhere in the realm of okay-ish, so I'm not gonna panic too hard."
Yeah. Yeah. It can be easy to, get caught up in the numbers and be like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah,
I mean, and we can do that with any numbers, whether it's our weight or, whatever. And as long as you're able to, take it as information and like keep the emotion out of it, it can be very helpful. But I do like with any of those,
yeah,
anyone depending on their situation, they could take it to an unhealthy place. I mean, that's just how we are as humans.
100%.
Uh, Chris Bear says, "I don't know negotiate with terrorists like myself."
It's a rock solid policy. I like your standards. I like it.
Um, oh, Chris says he paid 11 times
11
more than that
times.
with leaps and rebounds. Is that the brand? Because that's a great
I
name.
love the name.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so Dustin doesn't know what a rebounder is. Would you like to give us a crash course?
A rebounder is a small trampoline. Mine is 48 inches in diameter, but they can be as small as like 30 inches, I think. And it's just like a miniature trampoline, room for one, unless you are tiny humans, and then you can fit two, but it's unsafe.
Dangerous.
And its whole purpose is for exercise. I personally love the lymphatic uh, movement that it causes whenever you rebound up and down. It's
Mhm.
just all around a fun thing to do.
Very cool. I still want one. I wanna get one for the basement. I think the
Yeah.
kids would love it. I think it would be good for us. Bounce on it while
And
you're watching TV.
100%. Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's more valuable or if it's better to use the rebounders that have the metal springs, which is what I have,
Okay.
or if it's better to use the bungees. The bungees seem as if they would be a lot easier to replace as needed compared to the springs, but I also don't know the longevity. I mean, we're 3.5-ish years on mine,
Right.
and it was, folded up and taken apart and put here and put there and out in a garage where it's not climate controlled, out in a garage where it is climate, just kind of all over the map. But
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if, yeah, I probably would have. I don't know how many times I would have replaced the bungees at this point, but
Right.
um,
Yeah.
it seems like
Rebounder
it's a lot
is
easier.
the tiny trampoline your grandma had, but you never saw anyone use. Yes.
Listen, my mom has a rebounder that she has had since, I don't know, I had to have been elementary school, early elementary school. Loved that thing. My sister and I would go play on that thing like nobody's business, and it's
Yeah.
still at their house, but it is in a shop up high where
Oh,
nobody can access.
well, that's a bummer. Yeah.
But
So
that thing's from like
Renee,
the 80s, 90s.
yeah. Yeah. Is that when they became popular? Was it an 80s thing?
I don't know, but Dustin asked the question like for jazzercise, and I can remember going to school gyms with my mom in the evenings, sitting on bleachers doing homework while she did a jazzercise class, and I was like,
Wow. Wow.
I guess that's a thing.
Yeah. I remember like Tybo, Billy Blanks, all that, like those DVDs everyone had. I never did
Yeah,
those, but because I was a little too young at that time, but I remember.
it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah. Let's see. Chris Bear says, "My favorite no bun is a savory chaffle." That would be an
Mm,
easy thing to take to a restaurant too.
very easy.
Yeah, delicious. Okay, and then Limps and Rebounds is the name of the brand that she got for Christmas. That's a good Christmas gift right there.
That's a
I love
real
it.
good Christmas gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, in Renee's vision therapy, they have a rebounder, little trampoline there, and there's all kinds of vision exercises that you can do. You bounce on it while you read something.
Yeah, forces your eyes to try to stay focused, but
Yeah,
also move
yeah,
at the same time. That's
yeah.
cool.
It's really, I mean, it's really good. That and like the doctors said, get a trampoline. Like it's great for kids. Like it's not just, to get them some exercise. It's great for that. But then there are actually like brain benefits to that kind of
That's
thing, which is
awesome.
crazy.
That's awesome. No, no, no. Oh, I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry. I just saw Chris's most recent statement, but we can work our way to it because I have a response. I have a retort,
Okay,
if
okay,
you
all
will.
right. Hold your retort.
Holding it. I
Becky
caught it.
says, I originally got my rebounder to help my dog with his lymphatic system. Now we just enjoy bouncing on it together all the time. That is so cool.
I love it. I want to
I was
see dogs bouncing on
I was
rebounders.
imagining like trying to get your dog to jump on it, but then I imagine you're holding the dog and jumping on it. So that makes a little bit more sense. I was like, how do you train a dog to jump on a trampoline?
I gotta go research that now. Dogs on
I'm
rebounders.
I'm sure there are YouTube videos of it,
There has to be. I mean,
dogs
if they can get bulldogs
rollerblading. Yeah.
skateboarding, they can get
Yes.
dogs rebounding 100%.
Oh, I love it. Hey, Miriam. Miriam is here.
It's
Miriam, have you ever
Miriam.
rebounded with a dog? I don't. Do Chris and Miriam have dogs? I don't remember if I've ever heard that.
I don't know that I've ever heard
If you
whether they
haven't
have
rebounded
dogs or
with a
not.
dog, you should try it.
I
And take
think
a
that they
video of it
have
for us.
a half dozen children. Like they got a half dozen eggs that they hatched into children's. So
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, I have almost half a dozen. And then we also have 50 chickens and 8 goats and a dog and 2 cats. So they could handle 1 dog.
I want to know. This is a total tangent that we don't have time for, and I'm still holding on to my retort. But I want to know if Chris and Miriam ever did like an Easter photo. Oh, yes, thumbs up. An Easter photo with the kids dressed up as little chicks in an egg carton to be a half dozen.
Wow. I'm sure the kids would be all for that.
100%.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so Chris says you need to take the rebounder from your mom. She's not even using
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
Let's
it's,
just
it's
drive to.
only built in the 80s, so it's gonna be solid. It'll last you another 20 years.
Well, and the thing of it is, though, is like it's not one of the foldable ones. So it wouldn't fit in the car. Plus, I'd have to drive all the way to Texas to collect it. And then I'd also have to
A lot of
convince her
gas.
to let me have it. It just seems
Well,
so much
steel.
easier for Amazon to, just ship it.
True. Okay. B says, yes, it was an 80s thing. I had one for a few years and then it went out of style. Now it's back. Yes, everything comes back around.
Everything that is old is new again.
Yes. And then next will be ankle warmers.
Yeah, it's not ankle warmers. It's
Uh-oh.
not.
Is
They're
this your
ankle
retort?
weights.
Oh, ankle weights. Yeah, those. Yeah.
My mom had a pair of blue with black Velcro ankle weights that I thought were the most fun thing on the planet
Okay.
because you would wear them and you would walk around or you would go do something and then you would take them off and you would feel like you were floating. It was great.
Wow. And it's good for you too.
It was a good time. Good
Oh,
time. I
okay.
had a
All right,
great
all right.
childhood.
So the dog lays on the bottom and she bounces. That is amazing. I love it.
That's very good. I was thinking like if the dog was, like a black lab or, a Great Dane or something larger than a Chihuahua, it would probably be pretty hard to hold on to.
You'd need a bigger trampoline for that.
Maybe so. Maybe
Can you imagine just
so.
bouncing a giant dog on a trampoline?
I mean, I can see some breeds just really loving it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we put a dog on a trampoline at some point in time. But I don't remember the details. It seems like it must have happened at some point in my life. Oh, Chris is allergic to dogs. And 4 of her kids are allergic to animals. That's terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. Too many people that are allergic to everything but rabbits, rabbis, and chickens. Okay.
I'm not sure where you're going with that joke, but I'm going to laugh because it seems so outlandishly ridiculous that it's funny.
So, Miriam, it's not too late. Easter is right around the corner.
Could you imagine?
That would be awesome. That'd be so great.
I'm in.
Oh. No on the Easter chickens, but we do have a Goldilocks and the 3 bears photo. That is pretty epic. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have a pilot. Just tell him to go pick it up for you.
Right. So remember how I told you this thing doesn't fold? I don't know what size aircraft you think that he's capable of just like saying, "Hey boss, can I take the plane?" That's
Oh dear.
it's not a thing. Not a thing in this day and age for us. Tape it to the roof. It's not even called a roof, but okay.
The roof of the plane.
It's called a fuselage.
All right. Maragita, did I say that right? It sounds like you're saying I've had 12 dogs. I'm a dog trainer and they can do everything they are trained for. Easy. Yeah. It is pretty amazing. I mean, depending on
dogs
the
are
dog,
so incredible.
there are some dogs that are just not very sharp. And then there are others that just catch on. Like Izzy is one. We can teach her. We could probably teach her anything. She is so smart.
Could you teach her to fry the eggs for you?
Oh yeah. We'll have to do that next. Yeah. No, she's super smart. But yeah.
She's a good girl.
Risa's got to go to work. Have a good day at
work.
Have
a great day at work, Risa. We'll be here for a few more minutes. We do probably need to get off a little sooner than we typically would today with some things that we got going on. So we might want to start wrapping it up. If anybody has any like last minute questions or comments, we would love to hear them in the next like 3 to 5 minutes ish.
Tape it to the roof.
Yeah. That's so good. So good, Chris. So helpful. So useful. I'm glad we got a thinker in the room.
Becky says he's a Chinese crested at about 12 pounds. That seems very reasonable. Yeah.
That seems way more reasonable on a standard. I mean, it's not a Saint Bernard.
Now I need to find a video of a dog jumping on a trampoline. I think
100%.
That is the next order of business.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be. Fuselage.
Options.
Oh, fantastic. And I bet a lot of them are going to be pitties or staffies.
Yes.
Those dogs love bouncing
Okay,
for
okay.
like
Well, you know what?
children.
They've got a great lymphatic system then.
If I grew up with American Staffordshire Terriers and like 100%, they're precious. They're my favorites.
Yeah.
Pit bulls are pretty
Um,
close second. American pits.
Whoops. Oh, okay, wait. This one first. Today I learned how to spell wait, is that how you spell?
I don't know if the double L is a y, kind of like in Spanish. Didn't know I was gonna do some.
Fusillade. I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of looks like fusilli.
It's that pasta shape that everyone likes.
Fusilati. We got
Okay,
this.
you asked how's training going? Oh, is that you mean I was thinking dogs. And I was like,
She's pretty good now. She lets us know when she's got to go out, but
no, I assume it's like the running.
10K.
Running is still hard. I haven't gotten to the point where it's not hard. So I'm looking forward to it. I told John my goal is to get a runner's high for once in my life, and I'm not there yet.
My goal is to never get there because I don't want to try.
Is that your commitment?
That is actually that is the standard I have set for my life, is to never get a runner's high. I'm perfectly content with this. This standard is who I am. It's part of my identity. I completely embody this standard.
I respect that. Okay. A fusillade is a continuous
and simultaneous firing of a group.
Firing of a group of firearms on command. Okay. Have I ever heard that word said before? I don't know.
I've never heard it said before. I've always just heard it as like a firing squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not French.
I'm not fancy.
I ain't no French woman.
Fusillade.
Fusilati. We're just gonna roll with it. It's great. It's a great time here at the coffee chat on Wednesday afternoons.
How do you know that your lymphatic system is active?
Okay, Jackie, this is a good question. So your lymphatic system is the only system in your body that that has fluid flowing around it that doesn't have an actual pump. With your cardiovascular system, you have your heart to pump it. Your digestive system has stomach to help push things along, or bowels to push things along. But your lymphatic system doesn't have any of those things. The only way to move your lymphatic fluid through your body is move. You've got to move. Like, there's a lot of different lymphatic drainage massage techniques that you can use that are all over the internets, where you start with your collarbones, you move to your ears, you can do your sinuses, you can do your armpits, where your armpit nodes are. Your stomach has them, your groin area, the backs of your knees. Like, there's tons of places. And rebounding, just the act of bouncing up and down, bouncing on an exercise ball, can help move your lymph. That's the way you move your lymphatic system, is you have to physically move. And it's a waste elimination system as well. So if you're feeling ill or something to that effect, you want to kind of help move that lymphatic system so it can help flush any of the yuckies out of your system. It's a really awesome, cool system, but we have to purpose to make it pump.
Yes. Hey, have you followed the journey of Bill Knott here on YouTube?
No.
So he is friends with
Is this the chiropractors?
Huh?
Oh, no. Okay, go ahead.
No. So he was like 700 pounds, and he like bed bound and hadn't left his house and I don't know how long. Like he was in a rough spot, and he went carnivore and started losing weight.
Is he from Alaska?
Yes.
Okay, I've heard this name. Yeah.
Yeah. So he just has started doing YouTube channel, just talking about his journey. And so he lost a good amount of weight. I don't know, it's
Mhm.
been a few months that he's been on, carnivore, but he started having really bad pain, I think, and, like, numbness and stuff, and he was worried about, like, neurological stuff, and he had to go and get, like, an MRI, like, it was a whole big to do, and it
Yeah.
seems like he's figured out from some help from other YouTubers and people watching and stuff that it's his lymphatic system. And so he's gotten a vibration plate, and he said that using that just immediately gave him relief.
That's
And it
awesome.
makes so much sense because he's been so sedentary.
Sedentary.
And I
Mhm.
don't know, like, what like, somehow losing the weight or, moving a little bit more than he was moving or whatever, it just his lymphatic system needed to catch up. And so
Yeah.
getting that rebounder or not rebounder, but the, vibration
Vibration
plate,
plate.
I think he may have
Mhm.
said something about a rebounder too, but I don't remember, um,
Mhm.
has been apparently, like, just the key. When he was worried it was, like, some neurological thing and, like, all
Sure,
this stuff.
sure.
Yeah. So, it's
That's
pretty
really cool.
fascinating.
I'm gonna have to look into, his channel some because that is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Jackie asked the specific question, "Do you feel it move or are you just trusting the rebounding?"
Mm.
I do not actually feel my lymphatic fluid flowing through my lymphatic system, but, there's a lot of information out there, a lot of studies out there showing that the movement in general is what's going to help, and rebounding is effective at like putting yourself into negative g's and positive g's whenever you're like down there, the force of gravity pulling down on, I'm gonna get shorter here, down, but then doing like the upward motion from like it bouncing you back up, kind of helps your lymph system to maneuver in a way it wouldn't normally. And there's loads of information out there. I can remember Sean Stevenson from the Sean Stevenson podcast talking about this stuff back in like 2016, maybe. And I was always like, man, that is so fun. I love the idea of doing the rebounder thing, but we did not have one. We had a little kids' trampoline for like people rated 75 pounds and less. So that was not going to be an option for me at the time. So,
Yeah. I was
but
gonna mention go ahead.
go
Finish.
ahead. I
Finish!
I do trust that the rebounder is helping to give me some amount of movement throughout
Right.
my lymphatic system.
Right. I was gonna mention also another thing that is good for the lymph system is dry brushing, and I happen to have
Mhm.
a dry brush here, and you can look it up online. There's, like, a specific way you brush in a specific way, like, all towards your heart. So you start, at the bottom
Mhm.
of your legs and go up, and your arms and go in, and, it feels good, and it's
Mhm.
supposed to be really
And it
good for your
exfoliates too.
yeah, and it's kinda like, if you do it in the morning, it's kinda like, instead of caffeine, you can it just stimulates everything. It feels good. So, and it's good for your,
Yeah,
lymph. So,
for sure.
yeah. Okay, so, Becky says that Bill's down to 467 now as far as his weight, which is
It's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty, inspirational story. I think he's gonna be part of the documentary that, I forget his name, Carrie from Homestead How is doing, the,
Okay.
Healing Humanity, all about carnivore, like,
Is that the one where like they've already had 2 seasons of
no,
it?
no, no, that's reversed.
Okay, okay,
This is
okay.
a
There's
new
so
one
many
that
to
they're
keep
working
track
on.
of.
Yes, I know, it's amazing, like, who would have thought so many shows about carnivore?
It's a good problem to have for sure.
Seriously, yeah, no, it's like Dr. Barry's gonna be on it, and then, he's following some different people, and Bill is one of them, that he's been
So cool.
yeah, getting video of. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool to watch, but following Bill's story is pretty amazing. He's such a nice guy, like, he's just such a sweet person, it seems like,
Oh,
so
I'm
it's
excited
cool to
to
see him
watch
give
some
his
of
life
his
back.
material.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Last
Anything
couple
else?
things, and then we need to
Yep. Oh,
skedaddle.
Teresa says she loves dry brushing. Yes. Um, let's see. Yeah, Sing It says, need to buy a brush. Yeah, they're super cheap. You can just get them on Amazon. Yeah, they're super handy. And then had no idea that lymph nodes, we had lymph nodes in the abdomen. Do we have lymph nodes everywhere? I mean,
It's a
they all connect, but
The system is all over, and the concept of lymphatic massage is that you are moving from areas of low pressure to areas of higher pressure. And you want to like massage away any blockages in the lower pressure
Yes.
areas first, and then work your way to the higher pressure areas. So everybody kind of is aware, like you've got lymph nodes in your armpit, like tissue area, behind your knees and in the groin area. Well, those are higher pressure areas. Whereas like right here around your clavicles, those are very low pressure. So if you unblock stuff that's like kind of hanging out in your armpits, it's going to try to flow to the closest node area, and it will like get stuck up here in the low pressure areas. So instead, you start by sort of freeing up those passages in the lower pressure areas to be able to handle whatever's coming in the higher pressure areas. There's another person that I follow here on the YouTubes. Something about pain relief. I can't remember. Maybe I've got it downloaded, but basically he goes through the whole thing on how to get through a really quick lymphatic process, like
Mhm.
stimulation to drain everything. I want to say that the video might be about 8 to 12 minutes long, but it goes by super quick.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna have to look that one up because I don't
Yeah.
see it here in my downloads, and I thought I had downloaded it.
Maybe we could put it in the
Um,
comments after the video is
yeah, yeah. I found it.
oh, yay.
I
What's it
don't
called?
know, don't delete. I don't know how to um share. Maybe I can put this in the chat if I hop into the chat over on the actual. Well, I can hear me. I hope you're blessed by that. Here we go. Okay. So it's Stop Chasing Pain as the channel name, and he does a lot of stuff that a lot of different things about pain management and whatnot. But this particular video is about the lymphatic draining, like how to actionably go in and help your lymphatic system drain.
Okay. I see several that he has. I don't know which specific video, but
Oh,
oh,
I
you got
I
it.
put it in the yeah, I popped it into the chat.
Okay.
I was able
All
to
right.
do that.
Yes. Okay, so Tiffany says, "Just massage my face and I think I cured my cold." So there was one time where I was going in to see my doctor, who is also a chiropractor, and it was like that morning, I felt like I was just coming down with something. It was like
Mm-hmm.
just it happened, and I told her, and she did this massage on my face, and I swear I went from like getting sick to getting better, like
That's
just in that
awesome.
massage. It was crazy.
I have like anytime I start to feel a little bit like stuffy or pressure in my sinus cavities, I like pull the nose to the side and do some gentle like actions like this to purposely push the sinus fluids away from my nose, and it seems to help me almost every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah. There's something to it.
I do something with that with like that with my girls too whenever I notice that they're kind of
Yes.
sniffly.
Yes.
And
All
it's
right.
like, "Oh,
Well,
no meds. It's great." Yes, we
I
gotta
know.
go. We
Yes.
we
All the
got a
natural stuff.
ski
Yes.
battle.
Thank you everybody for joining today for our chat. Hope you guys found
Yeah.
some value in it.
I feel like there was stuff and things.
Just hanging out, talking. Um, especially all of Chris's contributions. I love that.
100%. That's where the
Um,
value add was.
yeah. All right. So we will see you next week, same time, same place, and have a good